Hello, Gemini, and welcome to June 2020. This is your season, right? We're in the midst of it now, and all the power that comes with that energy. And there's a lot going on in Gemini. I've been thinking about that too, just the way that connects with you and how that shapes what this month is all about. June is one of my favorite months of the year. It's super magical. We head into that solstice energy, and it's such a great balancing point in the year, such a great reflective point. And this month, this June, is full of really big, wild, bold energy. I will just tell you that right now. We're getting adjusted to having the North Node in your sign. We're getting adjusted to Venus retrograde in your sign. And these two things definitely make this a personal birthday time, a personal Gemini season. And we are diving deep on that Venus retrograde over on Patreon. I would highly recommend you come and join us if you're looking for more support on that front and more exercises and ways to engage with this energy. Those two things are very personal, very powerful, and not only that, but we have some big eclipses going on this month as well, and a Mercury retrograde joining the cacophony of sounds, of emotions, of experiences this month. So this is a month of radical honesty and clarity. In fact, the message that came through today before I sat down with you was really clear. It was ride that wild, free wave. Ride it fully. Let it show you the colors and dynamics of what is next. This is not a time to cling on to what's predictable and the same. You know, we know how to do a certain job. We know how to be a certain person. And Gemini, this is a time for you to be brutally honest and let yourself know and feel what it is that you're going to be next. You know, we start this month off with a full moon in Sagittarius, which is also a partial lunar eclipse on June 5th into the 6th. And this is that oppositional energy highlighting something for you, helping you to illuminate what it is that you can release at this time, especially around relationship and connection. And as this month goes on, we're going to have more and more energy moving over to Cancer, your neighbor, into that second house of value and what you value and what you think you're allowed to have. Anytime we're working with second house energy and Venusian energy, like we're doing with the Venus retrograde in your sign, we're having to look at where we feel we aren't allowed to have support, help, abundance, connection with materials and resources around us. We are tapping into where we feel we have to stop ourselves, where we have to cut ourselves off at the knees. And right now, with the energy with the North Node in Gemini and the South Node in Sagittarius, we're having to rework our belief systems around this. So the Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in Cancer. A new moon solar eclipse that's going to be pretty powerful is happening in Cancer on June 21st. We have the solstice, of course, shifting out of Gemini season into Cancerian season. And we have this kind of evolution and we have Venus going station direct in your sign as well this month. You can see how there's a lot happening here. And all of it is asking you to utilize your season, utilize it up to the solstice to get honest with yourself, to let yourself write out what it is that you truly want. Not your edited down vision, not your, well, I would really love to be doing this job, but you know, that probably isn't allowed for me. So I'm going to edit it down to this kind of okay thing. What is it that you want to get out on paper? What is it that you want to be honest with? Venus retrograde is a big mirror that helps us see ourselves clearly. Two cards already wanted to come out. Judgment and the Star. I love it. And we're only pulling 4 cards for June because the energy is so big. I want to keep the messages really crisp and clear and simple for us this month and really focus in on what it is that we need to know at this time. This is just a very reflective time between Venus retrograde in your sign and a full moon lunar eclipse in your opposing sign. This is a time to get brutally honest with yourself and ride the wave of your radical freedom. Magician. Love that for Gemini. That's such a perfect Gemini card. I think it represents so much of your mutable air, free-spiritedness. And what's interesting is, Gems, you all have your reputation for being sociable and adaptable and playful, right? But I think underneath that Gemini front, there's a part of you that is a little serious, a little frustrated, that feels that you, even though you appear to be that mutable air playfulness, there's a part of you that feels like you can't be that. And this month is asking you to tap into the golden side of that mutable air quality. Four of Wands. Wow. What an evolutionary month. When you start with the Judgment card and you end with the Four of Wands, we're talking about a month that reveals itself layer by layer and opens up layer by layer to show you a path forward that's really supportive of you. And the thing with eclipse season, the thing with a Venus retrograde and a Mercury retrograde and a solstice, all these energies, the best advice I can give is, rather than trying to run away from them, you're going to see all the memes on the internet saying, joking about how this month is going to run you over like a train and things like that, or like a hurricane or a storm. The thing is that it feels like a storm when we're running away from it, we're resisting it, we're pulling away from our own internal change system. But if we lean into it, if we go into the storm, we find that eye of the storm, and we also come out with a clear understanding of what it is that's shifting. So that's my biggest recommendation during this very powerful Gemini season. And we start off with Judgment. So this is one of my favorite energies, honestly. You know why? This is total forgiveness and release of the past. I mean, it's interesting it's named Judgment, right? Because it's actually the release of judgment that is always asked for here. Now, this is kind of a big spiritual homework. This Judgment card is very deeply tied to Pluto, to the underworld, and to where we have hidden deep things that we need to release and let go of. So this does take us directly into some deep, dark energy for you all. But the thing is that Judgment isn't asking you to stay down there and live down there. Judgment is the part of the process where we decide it's okay to let go. So this is about that really graceful moment when we realize we no longer have to hold ourselves captive to any old stories. And this is a lot of the work that the South Node in Sagittarius is having us do, and this full moon eclipse in Sagittarius is having us do, is to help us heal and release from those worldviews that have been painful. So Judgment, for me, it just kind of sets the landscape. It opens the gate. It opens the door to everything coming as we move through June and on into the next part of this year. And the thing is that, solstice energy for me, and this meeting point between Gemini and Cancer that happens every year, is such a beautiful time to realize that whatever we thought we needed to be learning in December, now in June, we understand it from a different perspective. And there's a lot in June that is about us understanding things at a deeper level than we thought we were going to understand them. Between the Venus retrograde and the Mercury retrograde, we were doing a lot of that work. For you, we bringing in the air sign magic here with the Star and the Magician. These cards are so much about going for it. This isn't about the edited down version or watered down version of of what it is that our souls are really asking for. The Star, I always say, will give you your blessings, but only with the understanding that you are willing to leave behind the familiar, and you are willing to dip into the healing waters of what it is that's really meant for you now. And Magician, similarly, is going to say, okay, here's your familiar tools, but how are you going to use them in a way that nourishes your soul and truly reflects who it is that you are becoming now? These are both very electrical in each their own way. And they do kind of ask for a big adventure. They do ask for a new opening, and they're asking for it from within you. And that is the deal with both Star and Magician. They don't guarantee that Some external source is going to pick you up and say, I'll mentor you and give you everything. Yes, we need help from others, 100%. We're not meant to heal and do alone. I agree with that completely. However, this is about your internal magic. This is about something that you are desiring to reveal within yourself that you know needs to come out and be present. So this is really supportive energy for you, though. And that's the thing. A lot of times we kind of think of these transits and the type of energy we're working with in June as a destructive, as malefic, as something that wants to take things away from us. But it's not always the case. Often we are being asked to look in the right direction, right? We can be looking over here at all the things that we say are going wrong, but we've got to be looking in this direction that's calling to us. So it's a subtle visualizing kind of process going on there. Now, here's the thing. You're fully supported. For those of you looking for a relationship or in relationship, this is a very supportive relationship card. And I would also say Venus closing up her retrograde. We will have post-shadow phase for about 6 weeks. So keep that in mind. All the way through July, we're going to be understanding our lessons around relationship. We're going to be understanding what it is that we gained as far as insight during May and June with the work we did with Venus. But when she stations direct, especially when it's in your sign, it helps you understand how you're going to move forward. Four of Wands for me, it's such a celebratory card. It often, it's kind of chuppah and kind of this beautiful bower, and it's very wedding-like energy. But it's kind of any celebration, harvesting celebration, where you harvest the goods of whatever it is that you went deep on. And what I'm kind of noticing with most of the energy here for you is that there's a culminating process going on here. You start with judgment that says, okay, you've done all this tapping in. Now let's look at this fun, playful side again. Let's come back around to that creative, playful side again. And I think the energy is actually quite supportive of that. Just remembering that you've got to lean into the storm rather than trying to run away from it. So those are the big messages that came through. And of course, we're going to dive so much deeper in Patreon. We're already in the middle of our beautiful work with Venus. We're diving deep every single week. We're also going to be checking in with that Mercury retrograde, because Mercury retrograde in Cancer is such a healing energy. And of course, we're going to dive even deeper into these eclipses. I'm so excited to do that work over on Patreon. It is such a beautiful space and I'm really appreciative of it. But before we close out today with your beautiful crisp message, I have some solstice blessings for you. Take the time around the end of your season, around the solstice and around the new moon and solar eclipse in Cancer on the 21st, those few days, really from the 19th through the 25th of June, to be in prayer and reflection and to welcome in some new insights. And here are your solstice blessings. May the flowers of life blossom all around you. May the answers flourish from within you. May the unfamiliar and exciting adventure wrap you in its warm arms and welcome you. May opportunity knock on your door every day. Sending you so much love and a beautiful birthday season to those Geminis out there. Okay, so that's a beautiful read. I'm so excited for you all. I'm so excited for June. I will be riding along with you here on the main YouTube with our eclipses coming up. And if you really want to go deeper and find community and feel held, I would highly recommend come joining me on Patreon. I'll leave that link right below us so that you can come check us out. You can also find me on Instagram at SarahVerba and on my website, SARAHTAROT.com. I would love to see you in any of those places, and feel free to reach out to me. I'll leave all my info below. And of course, PinkLune. I'm wearing her brass collection right now. I love it. Check her out. She makes beautiful handmade, ethically sourced jewelry, so I will leave her link below as well. And I will see you all so soon for the next Moon Magic and for more excitement coming in the months ahead. I love you so much.